Hello, dear genius minds. Once again, a very warm welcome to your English class with your learning buddy Aprachita. And here we are going to start a new chapter, chapter number 3, that is Indian Mathematician. So हम एक Indian Mathematician के बारे में आज पढ़ेंगे. Let's start it. Warm up. Read the following story about great Indian mathematician Ramanujan and make a character sketch. So, today we are going to read about एक बहुत महान well-known mathematician जिनका नाम था Ramanujan. It was an early morning of 1913 when Sir Godfrey Harold Hardy, an eminent mathematician from Cambridge, saw a large untidy envelope on his study table. 1913 early morning and वहाँ पे जो eminent mathematician थे, very well known mathematician Sir Godfrey Harold Hardy के पास एक बहुत गंदा सा envelope आया, उनके study table पे रखा था. The envelope had Indian stamps stuck on. After opening it, he found several sheets of paper with line after line of symbols in some strange language written on it. He thought if it was some kind of a crank. Now, जब उन्होंने एनवलप खोला तो एनवलप के अंदर उनको बहुत सारे शीट्स पेपर्स मिले जिसमें कि डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ सिंबल्स लाइन आफ्टर लाइन सिंबल्स बने हुए थे एंड ही थॉट कि किसी ने मेरे साथ मजाक किया है. So Hardy felt bored. He glanced at the letter written in halting English, signed by an unknown Indian. एक unknown Indian ने उस लेटर को साइन किया था और उसे देखकर हार्डी को कोई बहुत ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट नहीं आया. The letter read, I beg to introduce myself as a clerk in the accounts department of the Port Trust Office at Madras on a salary of only rupees 20 per annum. I am now 23 years of age. I have had no university education, but I have undergone the ordinary school course. अब इस लेटर में जो लिखा था, जिसने लिखा था ये लेटर, उसने क्या लिखा था कि मैं खुद को इंट्रोड्यूस करवाना चाहता हूँ कि मैं अकाउंट्स डिपार्टमेंट में एक क्लर्क हूँ और अकाउंट्स डिपार्टमेंट कहाँ का? पोर्ट ट्रस्ट ऑफिस मद्रास एंड मेरी सैलरी जस्ट रुपीज़ 20 पर एनम है और मैं 23 ईयर्स का हूँ. मैंने कोई यूनिवर्सिटी एजुकेशन नहीं लिया है, बट आई हैव अंडरगॉन द ऑर्डिनरी स्कूल कोर्स. एक ऑर्डिनरी स्कूल से मैं पढ़ा हूँ. After leaving school, I have been employing the spare time at my disposal to work at mathematics. और मैं अपने खाली टाइम में मैथमेटिक्स के लिए वर्क करता हूँ. I have made a special investigation on divergent series in general and the results I get are termed by the local mathematicians as startling. So, जो लोकल मैथमेटिशियंस हैं उन्होंने क्या टर्म दिया है इसको? स्टार्टलिंग का. द स्क्रिप्ट अपीयर टू कंसिस्ट ऑफ थ्योरम्स. उसमें थ्योरम्स थे. देयर वर नो प्रूफ्स ऑफ एनी काइंड. हार्डी वॉज इरिटेटेड. वहाँ थ्योरम्स तो उस लेटर में बहुत सारे थे लिखे हुए, लेकिन उसका कोई प्रूफ नहीं था. इससे हार्डी बहुत इरिटेट हो गए. ही पुट द पेपर्स असाइड एंड कैरिड ऑन विद हिज डेली रूटीन. He had his usual breakfast, worked at his own mathematics, had a light lunch, watched a game of tennis at the university courts, and strolled back to his house late in the afternoon. उन्होंने उन पेपर्स को एक साइड पे रख दिया. उन्होंने अपना ब्रेकफास्ट किया. डेली रूटीन में बिजी हो गए वो, जो भी वो डेली करते थे. However, at the back of his mind, the Indian's manuscript was nagging him. लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं वो जो उन्होंने पढ़ा था, वो जो लेटर पढ़ा था और जो थ्योरम्स देखे थे, वो कहीं ना कहीं बैक ऑफ द माइंड उनको परेशान कर रहे थे. He was perturbed. He looked at the papers again. वो डिस्टर्ब थे और उन्होंने उन पेपर्स को दोबारा से देखा. Then he sent a message to Professor Littlewood, another mathematician at Cambridge, to come to his house. अब उन्होंने एक दूसरे प्रोफेसर लिटिलवुड को एक मैसेज भेजा और उनको अपने घर बुलाया. और वो प्रोफेसर जो थे वो कहाँ वर्क करते थे? कैम्ब्रिज में. Together they studied the long list of theorems which the Indian mathematician had sent. Before midnight they knew for certain. The writer of these manuscripts was a man of genius. Now what happened, children? ये जो हार्डी थे और जो दूसरे मैथमेटिशियन आए उनके घर, जिनको बुलाया था प्रोफेसर लिटिलवुड को, दोनों ने बैठ के उन थ्योरम्स को दोबारा से रीड किया. जो भी चीज़ें उस इंडियन ने भेजी थी उसको रीड करने के बाद, बहुत बार रीड करने के बाद, दे केम टू नो कि जिसने भी ये लिखा है वो एक जीनियस है. द फॉलोइंग डे हार्डी वेंट इनटू एक्शन. द इंडियन रामानुजन मस्ट बी ब्रॉट टू इंग्लैंड, हार्डी डिसाइडेड. अब हार्डी ने डिसाइड किया कि ये जो जिसने लिखा है रामानुजन, जो इंडियन है, उनको इंग्लैंड लाया जाए. वंस हार्डी वॉज डिटरमाइंड नोबडी कुड हैव स्टॉप्ड हिम. और हार्डी एक बार जो ठान लेते थे वो उन्हें कोई भी फिर रोक नहीं पाता था वो काम करने से. रामानुजन turned out to be a poor clerk in Madras, living on 20 pounds a year. He was born on 22nd December 1887 in Erode, a small village in Tamil Nadu in South India. He was very poor. When he was 7, he was sent to the high school at Kumbakonam, where his father worked as a clerk in a cloth merchant's shop. जब वो 7 years के थे उनको एक हाई स्कूल में भेजा गया था. He did well at school and showed himself to be an able all-rounder scholar, winning prizes for meritorious performances. और स्कूल में जहाँ वो जाते थे वहाँ उन्होंने ये दिखा दिया कि वो एक all-rounder scholar हैं. When Ramanujan was 14, he showed an unusual interest in mathematics. He could solve problems in trigonometry, which even college students had to struggle with. अब जब रामानुजन 14 years के हुए तो उनका एक unusual सा interest mathematics की तरफ दिखने लगा. वो ट्रिग्नोमेट्री के प्रॉब्लम्स को ऐसे सॉल्व कर लेते थे जो कि कॉलेज गोइंग स्टूडेंट्स भी नहीं सॉल्व कर पाते थे. It was only at the age of 16 that Ramanujan came across a mathematic book by C.S. Carr. This was an old, out-of-date book on mathematics containing 6,000 formulas in algebra, trigonometry, geometry and calculus. इसमें ये outdated book थी. It contained no proofs. The book had an amazing effect on Ramanujan's mind. अब रामानुजन के माइंड पे इस बुक ने, ये आउटडेटेड बुक जो थी मैथमेटिक्स की, इसने एक बहुत बड़ा इम्पैक्ट डाला. द लैक ऑफ प्रूफ्स फॉर मेनी फॉर्मूलाज सर्व्ड एज चैलेंज टू रामानुजन एंड ही सेट टू वर्क देम आउट वन बाय वन. अब ये इस बुक में जितने भी फॉर्मूलाज थे उनके प्रूफ्स नहीं थे और वही एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज बन गया रामानुजन के. नाउ रामानुजन started working on it. In a way, the book helped him in awakening his genius. वो जो genius था रामानुजन के अंदर उसको जगा दिया इस बुक ने. He was so absorbed in his work that he did not pay attention to any other subject. He had earned a scholarship to college in 1904 after passing his matriculation examination. But it was discontinued because he could not pass the FA examination in those days. उस टाइम पे एक FA एग्जामिनेशन होता था, वो रामानुजन पास नहीं कर पाए क्योंकि उनका तो सारा ध्यान केवल एक ही सब्जेक्ट मैथमेटिक्स पे चला गया था. 3 times he appeared and 3 times he failed. He had to drop out of college, but this did not diminish his involvement in mathematics. लेकिन ऐसा होने के बाद भी उनके मैथमेटिक्स से इंटरेस्ट नहीं हटा. Ramanujan's failure at college was a setback to him and his family, as without it he could not get a job. क्योंकि कॉलेज जब तक कंप्लीट नहीं करते वो उनको कोई जॉब नहीं मिल सकता था. But in 1912, with the help of Ramchandra Rao, who was collector at Nellore, and who was very impressed with the mathematical genius of Ramanujan, he got a job as a clerk in the Port Trust office in Madras. लेकिन कॉलेज न भी पास करते हुए उनको रामचंद्र राव से एक हेल्प मिली, बहुत बड़ी हेल्प मिली, जो कि कलेक्टर थे नेल्लोर में. वो उनके रामानुजन के मैथमेटिकल जीनियस से बहुत ज़्यादा इम्प्रेस थे और उन्होंने रामानुजन को एक क्लर्क की जॉब दिलवा दी. During his work on mathematics, Ramanujan saw G.H. Hardy's book, Orders of Infinity. In January 1913, he put his best theorems together in a packet and sent it to Hardy along with a letter which he wrote in English with the help of some friends. वही letter जो Hardy के पास पहुंचा. So, Hardy invited Ramanujan to England. He arranged a special scholarship for him, and in March 1914, Ramanujan arrived at the Trinity College, Cambridge. This was the beginning of an extraordinary relationship between the two men. अब हार्डी ने रामानुजन को इंग्लैंड बुलवा लिया, जहाँ की रामानुजन कहाँ आए? ट्रिनिटी कॉलेज, कैम्ब्रिज में. एंड यहाँ से शुरू हुआ इन दोनों का, हार्डी और रामानुजन का, एक एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी रिलेशनशिप. Right from the start, Ramanujan's collaboration with Hardy led to important results, though his lack of formal education presented problems from time to time. In March 1916, Ramanujan graduated from Cambridge with Bachelor of Science by Research, now known as PhD. जो आजकल PhD जिसे कहा जाता है, वो उस टाइम पे रामानुजन ने किया, जिसे कि कहते थे Bachelor of Science by Research. He had been allowed to enroll in 1914 despite not having proper qualifications. Proper qualifications नहीं थे उनके पास, लेकिन फिर भी उनको enroll करने दिया गया 1914 में. Right from the beginning, Ramanujan had problems with his diet in England. He was a strict vegetarian. The outbreak of World War I first made obtaining special items of food harder, and Ramanujan started having health problems. अब रामानुजन प्योरली वेजिटेरियन थे, तो जब वर्ल्ड वॉर फर्स्ट हुआ उस टाइम पे स्पेशल आइटम्स को खरीदना बहुत मुश्किल हो गया था, और इसी कारण रामानुजन के साथ हेल्थ इश्यूज होने लगे. In 1917, he fell seriously ill and doctors feared that he would die. 1917 में वो बहुत बीमार हो गए. Hardy used to visit him as he lay in hospital at Putney. It was on one such visit that the incident of the tax cab number happened. When Hardy entered Ramanujan's room, he said, "I came by taxi number 1729. जब रामानुजन से मिलने गए हार्डी, तो उन्होंने बोला कि मैं टैक्सी नंबर 1729 से आया हूँ. It seems to me rather a dull number. To this, Ramanujan replied, "No, Hardy, it is a very interesting number. It is the smallest number expressible as the sum of two cubes in two different ways." Now see, what genius he was. उस number में भी उन्होंने एक what he found something interesting in that number too, and that was that it was the smallest number expressible as the sum of two cubes in two different ways. Even in the midst of his worst illness, Ramanujan never lost his alertness. इतने बीमार होने के बाद भी वो alert रहते थे हमेशा. He was very interested towards this mathematics. In May 1918, Ramanujan was elected a Fellow of the Royal Society of London, and in October in the same year, he was elected as Fellow of Trinity College, Cambridge. He was the first Indian to be given either of these distinctions. पहले Indian थे जिनको ये distinctions मिले थे. The honors which were bestowed on him seemed to help in improving his health a little, and he renewed his efforts at producing mathematics. By the end of November 1918, Ramanujan's health had greatly improved. अब उनको जो भी ये डिस्टिंक्शंस मिले थे, जो ऑनर मिला था, उससे उनकी हेल्थ में थोड़ा सा इम्प्रूवमेंट आया और धीरे धीरे बाय द एंड ऑफ 1918 रामानुजन्स हेल्थ हैड ग्रेटली इम्प्रूव्ड. In March 1919, Ramanujan arrived in India. Ramanujan वापस इंडिया आए March 1919 में. However, his health remained poor. He was sick and pale. Despite medical treatment, on the morning of April 26, 1920, Ramanujan died in Madras. वो वापस इंडिया आ गए थे. यहाँ आके उनकी हेल्थ अच्छी नहीं रहती थी, तो 26 अप्रैल 1920 को he passed away. He was then 32. Just at the age of 32, he passed away. Hardy was shocked to learn about Ramanujan's death. In a personal rating of mathematicians on the basis of pure talent, Hardy gave himself a score of 25, Littlewood 30, Hilbert 80 and Ramanujan 100. Ramanujan को सबसे ज़्यादा points दिए Hardy ने. They were the noblest and the most remarkable relationship, not only as mathematicians but as two human beings. Hardy और Ramanujan का ये जो relationship था, ये जो friendship था, this was most remarkable relationship. So children, this was about the great mathematician, the great Indian mathematician Ramanujan. Now let's read the word meanings, some difficult words with their meanings. Eminent, famous and admired. Theorems, a formal statement that can be shown. Meritorious, having merit, praiseworthy. उन merits जिनकी की praise की जाती है, जिनकी की सराहना की जाती है. Diminish, to make less. Outbreak, a time when something unpleasant begins. Dull, not interesting. Renewed, obtain the extension of something. Untidy, not tidy. Dirty, जिसे कहते हैं. Irritated, to make angry or impatient. Unusual, not usual, exceptional. And worst, most bad. Let's move further. Now we come to the comprehension section. As usual, you have to fill in the OMR sheet yourself. I'll just tell the answers here. I'll take the correct options, children. Okay, आप OMR sheet खुद भरेंगे. Darken the correct option in OMR sheet. Sir Godfrey Herald Hardy was a mathematician, scientist, a writer, physicist. He was a mathematician. Hardy sent a message to Ramanujan, Einstein, his wife, none of these. Whom did Hardy send message? He sent message to Ramanujan. Ramanujan failed in FA examinations. 2 times, 4 times, 3 times, never. How many times? 3 times he failed in his FA examination. Ramanujan died on 15th August 1947, 26 January 1950, April 26, 1920, never. He died on April 26, 1920. Now what's next? Fill in the blanks. So let's read the words given in the box here first. Alertness, 1917. Orders of infinity. Clerk, died 26 April 1920. Ramanujan was poor. What was he? He was a poor clerk. So write down clerk here. Okay. Ramanujan saw a Hardy's book. What was the name of the book? Orders of Infinity. The name of the book was Orders of Infinity. Okay, children? In dash, he fell ill seriously and doctors feared that he would dash. In 1917, he fell seriously ill and doctors feared that he would die. 1917 and this. Ramanujan never lost his alertness. So write down alertness here. Ramanujan died in 26 April 1920. Okay, so you have to fill in the whole. 26th April 1920. He died. Okay? Now, say if the given statement are true, T, or false, F. For true, we have to write T, and for false, you have to write F. Ramanujan was a great geologist. Is it true? No. So, write down F here. Hardy was a great mathematician. Yes, true. T. Ramanujan's failure at college was a setback to him. Yes, true. Very true. Hardy invited Ramanujan to England. Yes, this is also true. Now, let's move ahead. So now children, let's start with the question answers. Answer the following questions. How did Hardy spend the day after he got Ramanujan's letter? After Hardy got Ramanujan's letter and he went through and he opened the letter and read it, he felt very bored and irritated, and he kept the papers aside and started his daily routine. He had his normal breakfast and then he started working on his own mathematics. Then he had a lunch. He went to see the tennis match and after that he came back home. What effect did C.S. Carr's book have on Ramanujan? When Ramanujan saw the outdated book written by C.S. Carr, the mathematics book written by C.S. Carr, it had a great effect on him, as the lack of the proof for the formulas mentioned in the book was a great challenge for Ramanujan, and he started working on them. Why did Ramanujan have problems with his health in England? As Ramanujan was purely vegetarian, and after the outbreak of World War I, there was a shortage of the special things, the supply of the special things, special food items. So he had a problem in eating and thus he fell ill. He fell severely ill. Identify the qualities that you think were responsible for Ramanujan's success. The main quality, the two qualities, there were many qualities in Ramanujan, but the main quality was that his alertness and his interest towards mathematics, his unusual interest towards mathematics, and the alertness when he was ill also, he was severely ill, then also he kept on working on mathematics. So now children, let's do some vocabulary, and here we start with match the following opposite words. We have to match the words, the meaning which is opposite to these words. Bored, bored, excited. Match bored to excited. Ordinary, ordinary, opposite is extraordinary. Match it. Perturbed, it is composed. Perturbed is the vast knowledge and the opposite is composed. Genius, idiot. So match it. Involvement. Involvement means to do something, get involved in something. Involvement is indifference. Arrive, depart. Arrive, depart. Alertness, inactiveness. Alertness, inactiveness. Fine, children. Now let's move ahead. Okay, children. Now, some mathematical words. Pick out from the text words related to mathematics. As this chapter was about a mathematician, तो इस chapter में हमने mathematics के बहुत सारे words भी पढ़े हैं. Write them in the blank spaces provided. यहाँ कुछ blanks दिए गए हैं. यहाँ आपको उन words को लिखना है जो mathematics के word use हुए हैं इस chapter में. I have written few and the rest you will find out and write yourself. आप अपने आप search करेंगे और लिखेंगे. Let's read some theorems, then trigonometry, geometry, calculus, number, sum, 2, cubes, Okay, rest of them please find out, go through the chapter again. Now we start with the grammar section. Modals. What are modals? Modals are auxiliary verbs that allow expression of intention, certainty, possibility, ability, obligation, compulsion, etc. They are the auxiliary verbs और वो expressions show करते हैं. We can find the information on the internet. Aman must write short stories because he writes a novel. Now this is certainty that we can find the information on internet. एक certainty है, possibility है. Priya will make proper arrangements for the function. ये भी certainty है कि Priya proper arrangement कर देगी. Modals are often used to make polite requests or statements. Modals को कैसे यूज किया जाता है? किसी कोई polite request या कोई polite statement लिखना है तब modals यूज करते हैं. I want to go home now. May I go home now? May is a polite expression. Wait in the lobby. Would you like to wait in the lobby? अब wait in the lobby को कैसे एक we'll change it into request. Would you like to wait in the lobby? Fine. और I want to go home now को कैसे change किया हमने request में? May I go home now? We had put may. Now make these statements polite by using could, would, you like or may. कुछ sentences यहाँ दिए हुए हैं, उन्हें हमें request में change करना, polite statement बनाना है उनका. The first one has been done. Do you want me to photocopy these pages for you? This is a question. Now a request, how to write a polite statement. Would you like me to copy these pages for you? Tell me how to get to the bus stop. Could you tell me how to get to the bus stop? So we have put could here to make it a polite statement. So let's write it down. Could you tell me how to get? We are writing a polite statement how to get to the bus stop. क्या आप मुझे बता सकते हैं कि बस स्टॉप कैसे जा सकते हैं? Could you? I want to buy some art material. May I buy some art material? May I buy some art material? Okay, children? Now, the next one is, last full stop. I want a seat near the window. Could I get a seat near the window? Could I get a seat near the window? Fine. Now, next is, do you want us to help you with the packing? Would you like us to help you with the packing? Would you से start किया हमने. Would you like us to help you with the packing? Do you want me to call a taxi for you? May I call a taxi for you? May I call a taxi for you? Again, a polite statement is there. Now, phrases and clauses. That lady in an ethnic suit is Mr. Sharma's mother. This is the phrase. And that lady who is wearing an ethnic suit is Mr. Sharma's mother. This is a clause. Now, what's the difference between phrase and clause? A clause has a subject who and a finite verb is wearing. Who and is wearing. देखिए, clause में क्या होता है? एक तो हो गया subject, the lady who. Okay, who is the subject? and a finite verb हो गया is wearing of its own. A phrase in an ethnic suit. Lady in an ethnic suit. Okay? Does not have a subject or a finite verb in it. अब ये जो in an ethnic suit है, यहाँ पे ना तो subject है, ना ही finite verb. So now children, let's do this one. Rewrite the following sentences substituting phrases for the clauses printed in colored words. The clauses have been underlined here. So we have to replace it with the phrases. Okay? Hardy glanced through the papers sent by Ramanujan, but he did not feel much enthusiasm for them. In place of but he did not feel much enthusiasm for them, we have to write a phrase. So Hardy indifferently glanced through the papers sent by Ramanujan. Okay, now let's move further. Now, some more. After he left school, Ramanujan devoted all his spare time in the study of mathematics. So, this is the clause, and here we have to put the phrase. After leaving school, Ramanujan, and the rest of the sentence will be the same. Ramanujan devoted all his spare time in the study of mathematics. Although Hardy was very busy, he kept thinking about Ramanujan's theorems. So the clause is although Hardy was very busy. In place of that, we will write busy Hardy. Rest of the sentence will be the same. Busy Hardy kept thinking about Ramanujan's theorems. When Ramanujan was 7 years old, he was sent to the high school Kumbhakarnan. When Ramanujan was 7 years old, this is the, what is this? This is the clause, and we have to put the phrase here. 7 years old Ramanujan, rest of the sentence will be the same, was sent to the high school Kumbhakarnan. The scholarship was discontinued because Ramanujan failed to qualify the examination. In place of failed to qualify the examination, failing to qualify the examination, the scholarship was discontinued. The collector helped Ramanujan to get job because he was impressed by his genius. In place of this, the impressed collector helped Ramanujan to get job. Since Ramanujan lacked formal education, he had to face problems from time to time. Since Ramanujan lacked formal education. In place of this, Ramanujan's lack of formal education made him to face problems time to time. Okay, children, understood? So now, children, let's start with the speaking skills. Sit in pairs and discuss about Hardy and Ramanujan. So what's the speaking skill? You have to discuss what you read in the chapter. Sit with your classmates, or if you are at home, you sit with your brothers, sisters, and then discuss what you have read in this chapter about Hardy and Ramanujan. Now, writing skills. Imagine the dialogues between Hardy and Littlewood when Littlewood arrived at Hardy's house late at night, and write them in your notebook. So, Littlewood and Hardy, इन दोनों के बीच में का conversation, जब वो दोनों बैठे थे Ramanujan के वो letter लेके, the theorems which he had sent, and what was the conversation between them. Littlewood, hello Hardy. Hardy, hello Littlewood, please come in. Then Littlewood क्या बोलेंगे? So Hardy, why you had called me to your house such late, in late night? So what is the issue? What is the discussion about? What we have to discuss? It's very late now. So again, Hardy says, so Littlewood, I am going to show you something which is very interesting. We need to discuss about that. तो इस तरह से वो डिस्कशन जो हुआ हार्डी और लिटिलवुड के बीच में, दैट यू हैव टू राइट डाउन. फाइन, यू हैव टू जस्ट इमेजिन इट, बिकॉज आपने वो कॉन्वर्सेशन नहीं सुना है कि हार्डी और लिटिलवुड के बीच में क्या कॉन्वर्सेशन हुआ, बट इन योर इमेजिनेशन यू कैन थिंक यू हैव रेड द चैप्टर कि दोनों के बीच में वो जो रामानुजन के लेटर्स आए थे जिसमें कि थ्योरम्स दिए हुए थे, वो डिस्कस करना था उन दोनों को. Now values. Write a paragraph on Ramanujan in your own words. Write about his qualities which everyone should follow. You have read the chapter, you have read about the great mathematician Ramanujan. Ramanujan की क्या qualities थी, कौन सी quality ने आपको attract किया, which quality everybody should have. He was not so well educated, but he had a passion, he had an unusual interest towards mathematics, and that unusual interest was his strength, due to which he became a great mathematician, a genius person. So write down a paragraph, and here we end up with the chapter, children. I hope you enjoyed the chapter about our great Indian mathematician Ramanujan. Stay tuned for the next video. We'll meet soon. Till then, bye.